Hello, and welcome to episode 210 of Nola Time. My name is Ovid Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Yo Young.
What's good, no load time? Obed, pleasure to be with you again, my friend, on this happy Spider-Man Eve.
You guys can see me today. That's good.
He is not
it,
Modoc today,
I am
guys.
not Modoc. Yeah, so yeah, I repositioned my camera just to avoid Modoc again, right? Um, and I don't know what happened. It seemed to be a driver issue last week, so that has been corrected. Although the white balance settings that I had are gone. So I
And we
may
had
just
gone a while with technical issues, no technical issues.
yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah, I think well, I mean at least on my end, Joel. I don't know about it. No, we've been late a
That
couple
is,
of times because you've had technical issues.
yeah, my computer, dude. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that is true.
yeah, no, but yeah, we're here. We're live. Two episodes left for the year, so today and next week, and that's gonna be it, man. So it's been quite a ride, and I mean, I guess the year saved the best for last, so we'll see, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
we shall.
we shall. Well, what's up, dude? How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. Keeping busy these days, and you and I both, have been pretty busy these last few days, right before our last episode. But what I've intentionally been doing, I mentioned on our last episode, and still doing as of right now, literally before we were recording this, still trying to get through all the Spider-Man, cinematic films. So I finished out, uh, you know, um, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and now I'm on Homecoming.
Okay.
So after Homecoming, obviously I'll watch Far From Home, which I'll have to catch basically like dinner tomorrow, like, and then head straight out to my evening movie. So it's just one of those things. Not that I don't remember these movies, I don't know these movies. It just makes it nice and fresh. And it's been a while since I'd seen those movies. To be honest with you, the Maguire ones I hadn't seen in a while, so it was nice to go back to those and kind of especially like we were talking before, Spider-Man 3. Like obviously it's so divisive, and you go back and watch it, and you're like, it's still not as bad as some people put it to be, honestly. But when I watched the Garfield ones, I was like, well, this just reiterates how much I didn't like these movies.
Wow, interesting.
The
Interesting.
first one, I still admit, the first one is watchable. It's not a great movie, but it's still watchable. Like, there's things in there that I'm okay with, that I can enjoy.
Yeah, I think
But
the whole
I
thing with the
like,
parents is kind of dumb, and
yeah, Richard
yeah.
Parker and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but once I get to the second, like I mean, on my app that I'm watching it on, it shows the Rotten Tomato score, and I think it was like in the upper 70s or something for the first one, Amazing Spider-Man 1, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's like 50% rotten, and I'm like, oh, strap in, here we go. Whew, I had to fast
Yeah.
forward some scenes because I just did
Wow.
not. I was like, I'm not sitting through this. This is just pointless, bro.
Wow. You know
But
what? Just like thinking about it, right? And I've watched the
yeah,
movie once.
yeah,
um,
yeah.
there was a lot of like pointless dialogue in that movie. Like
They
there were
put a
moments
lot
that
in
they
that
talk
movie.
about nothing. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of filler dialogue. I mean, like Harry and Peter just skipping rocks by the the water, just talking about how Spider-Man's a symbol to like the people for hope. Okay, cool, but like it's like they're trying to be deep, but it's not as deep as it comes across, and
Yeah.
and then like of course, like you don't want to see Gwen Stacy spoilers. You don't want to see her death. Of course you feel bad. You don't want to see a character like that go out. But like the whole build up to it is very like, I guess after you know what it is, what's gonna happen, then you watch. Your reaction should be almost like how Black Widow, like when you see what happens with her, right? And you're like, oh no, like it's coming, but it's supposed to be like very emotional, right?
Yeah.
Or with this one, I watch it again, and you're like, "What are you doing, girl? Get out of there! Like, why are you here? Like, it didn't really
Yeah. Why was she there?
go. Yeah, like, why
I
are you
was
here?
like trying to think. I was like,
It's
why is
like
she
he
there?
needed his girl to figure out the power grid thing, and I'm like, it just felt like a far less superior Spider-Man. It felt like a
Yeah.
weaker Spider-Man, and I mean, there's a good human part of it, so I appreciate the attempt to do that. I'm not trying to knock all of it, right? Um, but no, like Eternals is a better movie than this movie, man. And you know how I felt about Eternals,
Mm,
and
okay.
you'll be seeing that
I'll be
in
seeing that pretty soon. Yeah, couple of
January.
weeks here.
You
Yeah,
know, yeah.
yeah.
So I don't
We'll
know,
see.
man. You know, I'm going through them, but now I'm at the good ones. I'm at Homecoming, and so we'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
guess
I'll
you
get
could
through that.
start at Civil War, and
I thought about it. I
yeah.
thought about it, but you know, in Homecoming, I like how they basically show like behind the scenes
Oh yeah,
footage,
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's
At the
filming
beginning of the
himself
movie.
in Civil
Yeah, yeah,
War.
yeah,
So it's like if for some
yeah.
reason you're just like it's like that's a good little
It's a good little
filler connect.
recap. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Cool, cool, cool. Not much on my end, man. But yeah, like you said, we've been very busy, so I haven't had a lot of time to catch up with stuff that I was watching. Uh, did play some more Guardians. Game's good, Joe. Game's good. Game is real good. It gets sweaty. Like it starts making references to other
oh
stuff, and I
really?
was like, "Yo, this is like, this guy is like, whoever wrote this, sweaty man. This is good. It's good stuff." Um, and there's a couple. So like so far, right? I've gotten Doctor Strange references slash Shang-Chi references.
Oh,
I've gotten there's a couple of X-Men, like blatant X-Men references.
wow.
Yep. And and an Eternals reference. So there's references sprinkled around. There's a very obvious Star Wars reference too in the game. So uh,
It's a space game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, and it's like they're not even hiding that it's Star Wars, right? It's like, oh yeah, yeah, and it's cool. I really like that game, man. I really do like it, and it's good, right? Because it was unexpected, and so unexpected surprise of 2021 was probably this
We
game.
need those.
Yeah, because it's good. It's really good. The writing, I think the writing is really on point. If I do have one thing that I don't want to say that I don't like, because I like it. It's not that I don't like it. It's that there's a lot of banter, a lot of dialogue between them, and sometimes it gets cut off because you're walking, and it's like Drax is doing a joke about something, and then you get interrupted by Rocket saying it's like, hey, we made it to this point. So because you're walking, right? So that sort of thing. So that's the only criticism that I have right now. It's that now that I get to power up the blasters a little bit more, it's like, oh yeah, now it feels better. So and using the team and all that still feels very good. The character dynamics are good. I think, man, honestly, I, I want to see actually who wrote this game, and I'm not gonna. I guess I'll find out when I finish the game, right? Because it feels like it was written by like MCU people, like the story, because it's
Wow.
very cohesive. It's like this is all stuff that would be on like the Guardians MCU. Like if you were to take Guardians and expand it, and have Guardians of the Galaxy be a 9 hour, 10, 13 hour movie or whatever, that's how this feels like. So it's good. It's very good.
I love that.
Yeah. So no complaints. I really want to go back to Ratchet. Want to keep playing that, but now not mean to the two Guardians. So it's like I'll see it through. So I'll finish. I'll probably finish that first. I still want to get Guilty Gear. It's just that I have those two to play. Um, did I mention? Oh, you know what? This could be a good segue. I'll save it because um, I haven't watched Hawkeye this week. I haven't had time. I was in the office since early this morning. I got home around 7 o'clock, and I just like, you know what? I'm gonna take a shower, eat dinner, and I guess do a podcast. So So
Thank you,
if
sir.
you
Thank you
want to
for
give
your
us
time.
just a quick recap, give us a quick recap on Hawkeye. No spoilers. I've seen the spoiler, right? Um, Mention it, but don't tell me what's up.
Yeah, I won't go into
Dance around it.
detail. Yeah, totally fine. First things first, impressions. I told you right off the bat, best episode of the season so far. Obviously, we only got one more left, anyways, which is the finale. So you would hope that there would be a progression of it just gets us sweeter and sweeter, right? And it has. The first episode was really strong. Don't get me wrong,
Hmm.
but it has, in my opinion, this show has ascended the way it should. Um, yeah, this episode does waste no time in continuing on with what we see between obviously the clear threat of a widow is now involved. There's an assassin in the mix. Where Maya's head's at now, because there's obviously now bigger people involved in this that even she wasn't aware of. Kate Bishop, with the revelation that she has, obviously with her family, this man who's trying to marry into the family, and then of course Hawkeye's still trying to get home for Christmas while dealing with the past sins of the Ronin. And that's the whole complete theme, except that I would say this takes a more investigative approach. And the whole season, it kind of has been that way too. And I really like that because someone else said this to me, and I said that's actually a really good analysis. Like a lot of times when I look at the DC properties, and I love that they live up to their name, right? The Detective Comics, right? They follow very like there's clues and mysteries, and it leads up to one big epic conclusion. And that hadn't been the Marvel formula for most of their properties, for their film side at least. That wasn't the way they did things, right? Because that was more the DC way, both from a comic and what they had done in their movies. And when you look at what Disney has done, Marvel Disney has done with now that they've transitioned into their live action television series, basically on Disney Plus, majority of them, the ones at least that are the most successful, in my opinion, are the ones that follow that same kind of let's put the pieces together and make one nice big masterpiece at the end. WandaVision was like that. There was little fragments being put around. Loki was like that, right? We're seeing it again in this one too, where all kind of the culmination really pays off well and rewards you for watching the series. And look, I made a prediction, and
You're
I
on
think
point.
I'm gonna brag on it a little bit. Might post something about it on the socials, but look, I told you I would have put money on it if I'm not mistaken on the recording. I said if I really wanted to, that on episode 5 we would see the Egyptian prince himself, the Kingpin, and well, obviously he's there. Spoilers, guys, but I will not go into what exactly. I don't know what you saw, Obed, from the thing, but how you put it together. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And it's pretty cool how again, if you're on social media, like really, gosh, I feel bad because you get spoiled pretty easy. But even Vincent D'Onofrio posted one of the final shots from the after the scenes, like after you get your art scenes at the end,
Mm.
and there's a really cool thing that they did with the overall Hawkeye art at the very end after the credits roll that even the actor himself actually posted on socials. So
Cool.
I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't want to spoil much except they really took the Black Widow stuff and delivered like an amazing homage to Natasha. I don't want to get into that too much, but like even the opening dialogue is very much continuing what we saw in the end of the Black Widow movie. It didn't feel like Hawkeye, it felt like a Black Widow series and then a Hawkeye thing. But then there is something else that happens that I believe I will know tomorrow at this time tomorrow as I'll be watching. I believe to be a Spider-Man connection, but I'll have to find it
It's
out.
in New York,
It's in New York.
so yeah, we'll see. Cool, cool, good stuff, good stuff. No, the other thing that I wanted to mention, and we can transition to something that we missed last week, is that
Yeah.
um, after many months, had it been downloaded to my PS4, I actually played a couple hours of Shadow of War,
Oh,
so the
cool.
sequel to Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's straight up sequel. Um, it feels not as hard because that game was challenging at the beginning. But here you already start with a few of the like wraith abilities, and that makes it a little bit easier. Um, But yeah, I mean, not much to say honestly, other than it's fine, right? I don't know if I'm gonna keep playing it. I got a lot of stuff that I really want to play on PS5. It was a PS Plus game from like 2 years ago, so if I get to it, I get to it. But it's not on my to do for now. I just played it because it's been on my PlayStation for a long time, and I was like, oh, you know what? Let me check this out, and give it 2 hours, and I was like, oh, that's fine. Um, so yeah, like segue because we didn't talk about it last week, but they announced a Wonder Woman game at the Game Awards, and Ed Monolith is developing the game. So the guys behind Shadow Mordor, Shadow War are developing this game, and I think that's pretty cool. I think they can use the Nemesis system, TM, because they own that. I guess that code that creates that Nemesis system, they have a trademark on it, so like no other studio can do that, and I think that's a pretty cool thing. So I think it's pretty cool. I think that's a great idea. They it depends on how they want to do like the setting, right? I think the setting is very important. So if they go to a more, I think, in my opinion, that Wonder Woman game should be more of a fantasy setting versus trying to be Arkham and be in a city, right? Um, and I think it's cool. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great pairing. So I'm excited to see more about it. No date. I'm assuming summer to late 2023, more than likely. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I did not see this game coming either. Like this is another one of those properties that you're like, okay, this makes sense for a game, but I never imagined a Wonder Woman game coming anytime soon. But pleasant surprise from these guys. Yeah, I did first think of how for a long time we've discussed a Superman video game. And one of the biggest struggles we said was, how do you make him like actually have a challenges, right? Because he's Superman, right? He's super OP. But with Wonder Woman, she also is a very OP character. But the difference with her is in a you can place her in an environment where it's basically almost like gods versus gods,
It's
right?
like
Like
God of War,
Greek,
basically. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And when you go into when the playing field is leveled, then you're okay, right? Like you can't like with Superman, you can't put Superman against Brainiac for a whole thing. Like at the end, all he's gonna do is just smash his way all the way up. It's gonna like be too easy. But when you've got Wonder Woman facing off against Ares, okay, well like now we can actually have a very interesting type of both story and gameplay that's gonna keep people not feeling like it's just a cheaper, quick, short filler game. You want a really nice immersive experience. I think obviously the Arkham games were super easy to do because Batman's the most grounded character.
Yeah.
So this is a game where it feels like you have to completely fundamentally change your thinking on those kind of things. And like you said, Obed, make it more like a God of War type of style. I look forward to seeing how it comes out. I look forward to seeing some demo. I'd assume maybe E3 next year. We'll get a little
Probably.
tease of it, maybe, right?
Yeah, yeah, because the WB is at E3. More than likely, we'll see something. And they can deliver. Like those Mordor games are good. I think I really enjoyed the first one. At least after after getting a few abilities, because it was hard. Like I don't know why there was something in that game that was just made it really hard for the first hour. Was like I was not having fun, and then it kind of like picked up. So that was cool. This one, I don't know why it feels more. This one feels more secluded. Like it doesn't feel as open as Shadow Mordor. I guess we'll see. I'm probably still in like the tutorial area, so that's
Okay.
probably why. So we'll see. I mean, I have some time off in the coming weeks, so maybe one day I'll just take a poke at it and see if I can just put a couple more hours and see if I can make it. It's just problem that I have playing that sort of game is that I see the story stuff and then I see the side stuff and I don't want to progress until I do the side stuff, and that always gets me. And did this sort of game, right? Because I have no interest on doing the side stuff. It's like, why am I even bothering? I just should just go do the story at least and see it through. So we'll see. But yeah, interesting. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. When's Gotham Knights come out?
Uh, that got delayed, right? So I don't know what the new date was. I think that was originally supposed to be this year, right?
Yeah, that got delayed till next year, but it was
Was it
there
summer
was
of next year also?
there was a release date announced. No,
There was
still no date. 2022.
no date. Oh
Wow.
wow.
Dang, dude,
Yeah.
this game has
Live
been
fact
delayed
checking.
yeah, this game's been delayed more like longer than Halo. At least Halo came out
That's
good, but
concerning.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
think
well, you
between
can see
that-
you can see the difference though. Yeah, like they
Yeah.
reworked a lot of stuff, and you could tell in the demo that they had at Fandom versus what we saw like last year. Like
True.
it looked way better. So
True. Yeah, I
Uh,
mean,
yeah.
between this game and the Lego Star Wars game, they've been delayed probably the most over this pandemic. I
think
don't
so,
know
right?
why,
Those two
but
games-
we'll find out. Yeah,
yeah, probably
those are two games I had on my list that I was like, okay, again, delayed.
that and
delayed, delayed.
Horizon, because Horizon was supposed to come out
Yeah.
in November. It was a good thing that got delayed. There's a lot of good stuff out there. I don't,
I
So-
know. We'll talk about next week. We'll recap a little bit of the year, but I mean, we didn't have as much stuff really come out when you think about it. However, we still had so much on the backlog. I think most gamers did that.
Yeah.
It was okay to keep us through.
Yep. Joe, there's a rumor. I don't know if this has been confirmed, but based on what I heard, it's a rumor that Harrison Ford is back as Han Solo.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. So
I don't believe it right now.
Okay.
Now I say that like I want the man back tomorrow. So if I feel like I'm not trying to get spiritual here, but I feel like like Thomas, doubting Thomas, he's like Jesus
I'll
like
see
touch
what I
my
believe
hands, it's like I want it to be true. I want to see Harrison. I'll believe it till my eyes see it. I hope it's true, but yeah, I'm not putting any stock in that word right now.
Okay. All right. Could it be?
I do
could it be
think that they could and maybe even should do a solo to Disney Plus thing. I don't think
Okay.
it should put another. I don't think Solo should be in the movies, but I mean we've talked about before. I think Lando's supposed to be a thing, right, for Disney Plus. So why not let that be kind of a continuation, right?
Do you think it could be a sort of like a Mark Hamill deal where it's a likeness deal where they can
I didn't think of that.
they can do a CGI Han Solo and I mean
Yeah, I'd be on board for that. Okay,
Or-
well, I
or,
can see that happen.
not a CGI but a what's it called
You get his voice, and
the
then you
face
get his,
swap or whatever they
capture
call
his
it.
face. Yeah,
yeah, deep fake a
put
deep
on
fake
another guy's
yeah.
body.
So that could be. I mean, that could be it. It could be just a likeness deal, like what because clearly Mark Hamill did one, and it's out there. Like it's like, oh, Mark Hamill did a deal. It was not actually a deal. He signed his likeness, so they can keep using his likeness to keep creating Luke.
He wants Luke to survive him,
So,
which I love.
exactly,
That. I appreciate
yeah.
that about Mark. He's such
Yeah.
a fan that he actually wants it to continue after
Yep.
he ain't around.
Yeah, so I think that could be the case. Maybe it's something that he'll do. Maybe he'll do like a Boba Fett like cameo, like a CG
Yeah.
Han Solo, a deep fake Han Solo. Who knows? We'll see.
Recreate a little bit of him being, at Jabba's palace, like a flashback or something.
Yeah,
know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could be.
He's just
That could
stuck
be
in-
it. Jolie, ready to dish out for the plate Station 5.
Oh, boy.
Can't get a
Tell me
concert.
about
Can't
it,
get
Obed.
some nice looking plates. So, so Sony finally announced the colored plates that we knew that they were going to come out with, and what's surprising to me, Joel, is the range, because I was expecting
Yeah.
black plates, right?
No.
And we get black, pink, purple, was it Galaxy Blue and Red?
Yeah.
That purple looks dope. I like it. I like it. Am I gonna buy it? Probably not. Um, I may just buy the black ones. I'm not sure, but we'll see. But I think it's a long overdue idea. Thing that we knew it was gonna come out. So coming out early next year, $55. Also matching controllers. So for each plate, they will have a new controller color coming out. So the red color is the same red that's out, which is a really nice red. I really like that color. Um, the would be the purple, galactic blue, and the pink one. That will be coming out along with the plates. So yeah, not
I
much to
am
say.
totally loving that blue one, to be honest with
The
you.
light blue.
Like, yeah, it's like a baby blue. It just looks clean, but it
Looks good.
also looks like trendy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd rock that.
yeah. It
Now, how much are
looks
these
good.
gonna be?
They're
For?
55.
Okay.
So this basically, I mean, they're
Then you
cheaper.
gotta get a controller too, right? Which is like 75, I
The
think.
controllers are 70. Well, it's 75. They're probably gonna be 75 because when I bought the black one, that one was 70, but the red one was 75. So
Then you gotta get the controller if you get the face
you gotta
plates. They
match
know
it,
what they're
bro.
doing.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta match it. There's no going around it. Unless you want to rock like the all black, right? I already have the black controller,
You
buy the
can get
black
the
plates.
controller. You can get the controller and not get the faceplate, but you can't get the faceplate and not get the controller. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you could keep a white console and go pick up a blue controller and
Yeah,
you'd
yeah,
be
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But if you get the faceplate and you don't get the blue controller, that's just weird.
I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I kind of agree. I kind of agree.
Random.
Yeah, yep. Man, I may go for the black one. I don't know. We'll see. So,
Be
but
nice
it's a
to
thing.
look.
Yeah, they finally announced it, and now you know why they sent those cease and desists out because they're working on their own. Although I don't know if you've seen the new style for the D brand one, where it doesn't like stand out. It's more rounded. Like it's kind of like the shape of the console itself, and it has like a vent for the fan. So, I mean, it doesn't look bad. The problem is that it reminds me of the Xbox One with a big
Okay.
like fan hole right on the side, and I kind of don't like that. So yeah, but yeah, cool, neat. They look good. Like the colors are good, and like you said, yeah, I think the purple looks really nice, and yeah, blue looks good. Yeah, looking at it now, like that red, I should have gotten that red controller because that red one looks.
I feel
I
like the
really like
Twitch
that color.
streamers are gonna be picking these up.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I saw a meme because there's I don't know you've probably seen the meme from Invincible. It's like look what they have to do to mimic a portion of our power, and or fraction of our power. And then I saw it was the it was a PS5 with a plate with the color plates flying, and it was a PC with all the RGB going. It's like great.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny because I have lights on my machine, but I always keep them neutral, like white. I don't I don't want to. I don't want to have anything crazy.
I'm gonna be
Like
like the
even with
cool
my
kids
keyboards,
over
like I got
there.
a Razer keyboard and I keep my lights white on it because I don't want to. It's like I don't want like that rainbow like swipe or whatever. It
It's
looks
Christmas,
silly.
Obed. Make it at least
No,
red or
I
green.
shall not. Red
All
and
right,
green. Oh
Mr.
yeah,
Grinch.
I could do red and green. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess I could. But yep, plates coming soon. Good stuff. Um, Also good stuff. Switch did really well during the month of November, topping the NPD. And yeah, I think we talked about it briefly a couple of weeks ago because we talked about um, the just the Black Friday sales. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a combined 1.13 million units for last month for the Switch, and it did very well. So
And I remember you saying you saw some like available when you last time you went to the store, like
I went to
was the
Walmart last
Target,
week. Yeah, there were like three
Walmart. Yeah.
left. Yeah,
So
yeah,
that I mean, I do see them. I do like at least online sales. Like I'll see randomly them be available. And obviously the OLED. I saw there were some deals with the OLED recently, some bundles and stuff that I saw going on there. So they're moving. They're
yeah,
being sold.
yeah, for
I
sure.
I'm I was sh I'm so shocked though. Like obviously, like those numbers are just Switch as a whole, right? They're not separating the light and the original
That's
and the
correct.
OLED. They're just staying as a whole the Switch,
That's
and
that's original light and OLED all together. Yep.
and that's where I'd be curious. Like clearly, there's not as many available of each kind, right? They don't just make them all the same amount being processed and distributed. But I'd be curious to see how like individually that they're moving, if you know what I mean. Like what the numbers
Yeah.
would be for the OLED and the light. The light seems to be very successful, at least overseas. Over here, I don't really know too many people who have them, but
I
I'm
haven't
sure
seen
they're
them
selling
in
well
a
too
while.
because yeah, I'm sure they're moving well. Just
Yeah.
but yeah, OLED, I had no idea, man. No idea how that's moving.
Have you seen an OLED in person?
No.
No. Looks nice.
Mm-mm.
I
Okay.
I wouldn't buy like if I already have a Switch, like I wouldn't buy an OLED,
Wow.
but it looks nice. Like if you don't have a Switch, that's the one to get. But if you have a Switch, you're totally fine. Yeah, yeah. It looks good. It looks better,
Mm.
but I don't think it's like again if you already own a Switch, spending another $350 for that thing, like to me, it doesn't make sense. I also saw a comparison between the screen on that Switch and the OLED Vita running the
Oh,
same
really?
game. I can't remember what game it was, but it was the same game because it's a game that's on the Vita that also came out on the Switch, and and they were playing the same game on both, and the Vita looked better. Like the
Wow. I
screen
mean,
looked
it
better.
was great tech, man.
Yeah, ahead of its time, man.
I wish they would have tried to revive that. I know that they're trying to get away from that kind of business, and keep it to consoles, but
Going PC now, yeah,
I do wish, man, not gonna lie.
yeah.
Just one more, one
Well,
last one.
yeah. Well, the thing with PC, right? Oh, we didn't talk about this either. The Steam thing got delayed until next year. Was it called the Steam Deck? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that got delayed until next year. Um,
yeah, not surprised.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that would be the thing, right? If PlayStation makes their games available on Steam,
That's the
they
same
could they
thing.
could use the Steam Deck as kind of like as a crutch sort of thing for them. So um,
Oh, but you're gonna get your
yeah,
Steam Deck next year?
you know what? Probably not. Probably get a
You
new
never
iPad
know.
next year. I'd rather get a new iPad or not like a nice
Are
iPad.
they launching a new iPad next year? I don't
Oh,
keep up
they
with
come
their
on, dude. It's
cycles.
like again, is the what? It's water wet. It's like it's like it's
It's gonna
it's
happen.
gonna happen.
It's
Yeah,
inevitable. It's
yeah,
like
exactly. It's like
Thanos.
Thanos. Yeah, it's like Apple's the Thanos of tech. It's like it's you just bought an iPhone next year. One's gonna come out. You can't do anything about it. So, yep. And Joel, out of the blue, there were rumors early this week, or not rumors, but there was a report early this week that Ubisoft re-upped the Splinter Cell IP. So they filed trademarks and did their due diligence. And today it got announced that the original Splinter Cell is going to have a full-blown, you know, remake, kind of like Final Fantasy VII stuff.
Yeah.
This is like not a remaster, right? This is not the old Xbox game, and
Nope.
they're porting the graphics to 4K. No, this is like from the ground up remake, reworked. So it will be an entirely new game. Yeah, and this would be done by the Far Cry 6 team, Ubisoft Toronto, and they're hiring for the project. Of course, no date. This was just announced today. I would assume that this will come out for pretty much everything. And yeah, I think this is great news.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this news. I think the Tom Clancy IPs are clearly great stories, and obviously historically have just been beloved by the fans. And to your point, Obed, like taking the route of saying, let's go ahead and breathe new life into this. In like, if you're gonna renew the IP, don't just renew it just to basically remake the same thing. Like, no, they're going to take the same property and just say, let's make something completely new from this, and not do a remaster, right? So yeah, taking this route sounds like everyone's pretty excited. I saw it trending all this morning on
Yeah.
social. So clearly there's a huge anticipation for this. No, I'm a fan. I mean, this is a good bit of news. Do you remember, Obed, back when gosh, maybe 2010, 11, something like that, that there was rumors they were going to be making like a movie or something on this, like with Tom Hardy or something. This never came to
Yeah,
fruition.
that really. Then
And
I
what is the
vaguely
one-
remember it.
and what is the one there's I think it's Netflix. Uh that I think Jessica Chastain is gonna be, is it Splinter Cell that they're making now live action on there?
Oh
I'm
no,
fact
it
checking
was the
this
other
now.
one. The one with the pandemic. Uh,
Oh,
the Division.
The
The
Division.
Division.
Yep, they're
The
making The
Division.
Division.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yep.
yeah,
Her and Jake Gyllenhaal. Yep.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Which I guess that
but it's
got pushed by pandemic. So. Yeah, it's like talk
oh
about good
wow.
timing. It's like when RE3 remake came out last year. Like it came out like a week after we went to like work from home mode. It was like, well, it's like talk about good timing to release a game
Oh
about a
man.
virus turning people crazy. So,
Timing on this.
yeah,
Timing.
man, this is good timing. So, yeah,
Conspiracy theorist gamers. I knew it.
yeah, exactly. I was like, I knew that it was the Umbrella Corporation. Those vaccines are bioweapons. You're gonna grow like a long tongue or something. Um,
My phone's gonna magnetize to my head.
so you said are you telling me you did not turn into Magneto, Joe?
Dude,
I
I am
wish.
now a mutant. I'm a mutant.
I wish. I was
Sorry.
like,
I
it's like the vaccine turns into Magneto. I would take like a vaccine everywhere. Like I would take all three of them plus the
stop
pills,
it. Stop it, bro.
plus the
That's
pills and
unlimited power. You
turn
can't be
into
Palpatine.
Magneto. Yeah, man.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Oh, there we go. You would do you 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 have to do what you must now, or you will try.
Oh my god.
Let's go, Joel.
Unlimited power, Obed.
Unlimited power. Good stuff. Yeah, I like Splinter Cell.
Yeah, me
And
too.
if this is any indication, if Splinter Cell's around, right? Um, I think Metal Gear's gonna happen. We'll see. Um,
Yeah, come on.
that's it's more than likely, based on what I heard, right, from someone that heard something from an insider, someone well connected. It's an MGS3 remake, so yeah, we'll see. Um, I don't know if you remember the what was the last big like Tom Clancy game, the one with John Bernthal, and I remember he presented on at
I
E3.
do remember, but I don't remember the name.
Wildlands. I
Could
think it was
be.
Wildlands. Because there was a Sam Fisher DLC for it,
Right.
and and there was in one of the cutscenes, one of the guys is telling Sam Fisher, is like, oh yeah, like well, you have to do this mission now because you're the last one that can do it. It's like, I mean, and Sam goes like, "Well, there's another guy, the guy with the bandana." It's like he's gone too. It's like a snake. It's like, oh man. So wouldn't that be crazy to have like a Splinter Cell Metal Gear crossover? It's like
Yeah,
they exist in the same universe.
yeah.
The Metal Gear verse,
Whew.
the Splinter verse, or whatever. Nice, that'd be cool. Um, yeah. That's what we got when it comes to news. But we do have a topic that we want to talk about, and we want to give you guys an update
Oh man.
on the Galactic train wreck. I mean, Star Cruiser. Um, so we talked about it last week. We know that the video got taken down by Disney, and things are not looking good. Allegedly, the entire month or half of the month of May is now available to book. This was as of yesterday, so that is very bad news. Considering that they were saying that they were booked solid until June. What's even more, I guess, alarming is that there's really no way for the average consumer to check availability right now because you cannot book this online. You have to call the number, right? Wait times for the Disney call center have been outrageous. We're talking about 4 or 5 hours, 8 hours in some cases. I've saw, and it's out of control, man. And as someone that I think of Disney as home, right? That's when I got my career started. I met some fantastic people. Went back to work behind the scenes and got to experience the craziness that is to, run the parks from a, technology standpoint. I consider it home. And it really pains me to see that this thing is out of control. Me starting, because I started working there at the call center when I first started working at Disney. And what they're saying, that it's like there's mandatory overtime and high turnover, those things are true. Like there's, I can say it's been over I don't know, 15 years since I worked at the call center. So those that's true. It's nuts, right? Problem is that it was only nuts for a couple of weeks a year. Like there was a time in around April, March, and then September, and then around Christmas. That was the crazy time of the year. It seems like this has been going on for months now. I think that when I was back at Disney, service and customer service was priority number one. We want it to be the best. We charge the money to be the best, right? So we gotta be the best. And now it's like now they're just winging it, and I'm distraught by it, Joel. And I wanted to talk about it, like maybe not in depth, but just go around what's going on. I think that the studio stuff is sort of figured out to some extent. I think Star Wars, other than Galactic Star Cruiser, which has nothing to do with the production side of things, it's a totally different story, right? We're getting Book of Boba Fett, we're getting Obi-Wan, we're getting Andor, we're getting stuff. Like stuff's coming, and it looks promising. So I'm hoping that would be that will be the case eventually when we get to see these new productions. But I want to talk about leaving consumer products aside, leaving studios aside, but talk about the parks, because I've been calling it for months now, right? But it just got to the point where it's like, what is going on? Where's the leadership? right? You can see it. You can literally see the house burning, and it. I mean, I feel terrible, man. It's something that it's near and dear to my heart. I came here because I wanted to be a part of the magic. Honestly, like when I moved here originally, and I did, for almost 5 6 years I did it. So it's concerning. I'm very very concerned, Joe, um, about not only the current state but the future. And I did mention it that last time I went to Magic Kingdom, I went to Space Mountain, and it was in rough shape. Like it was downright depressing because I remember going the first time ever that I went to Space Mountain. We're talking, 1994 was probably the first time that I rode it. And I remember Space Mountain back in the 90s and even the early 2000s, um, and everything seemed to be better back then. Like everything was cleaner, everything was in better working order. Um, Everything was more, I guess, better maintained, and I think it's out of control. It's out of control, man. And I don't know. I think you probably feel about the same as I do. Um, you know, come. I went to Universal over the spring, and I think that I had an experience with the experience that I got at Universal when I went during spring was the experience that I used to get at Disney
Wow.
back in the day. Like they've upped their game for less money, offering you know attractions of this similar of comparable caliber, and like what's going on, bro? Like what's happening? I just I mean, we can rant about it, but I want to let you talk, and we can just have a conversation about this.
Well, you set it up very well, gave great insight, and I know you come from like it's more personal for you than it was for me because you know what it was from the early '90s to the professional experience you've had with them, and now as a father, bringing your family into this like experience, like it's that's what you would imagine like Disney would want, right? It's like it's a generational thing that continues to go in a positive direction. And it seemed like when we talked about Disney just a few years ago, like they were on a trajectory that seemed very
Yeah,
positive, and they definitely seem to have a better sense. And there's always room for improvement, of course.
yeah,
But that's the whole point of Disney, right? Like even even Walt Disney himself, from a park standpoint, he made the statement like we'll never be complete because it's always going to be upgraded and changed. And I love that. Um, what I don't understand, is, and I think I've said this before on the show, but it's like you're paying more money for a less than experience right now. Like it's crazy. It was cheaper back then, and the experience was better. Like if you're gonna make people pay more, at least give them a better experience, a better overall. Where it's like, okay, I'm paying all this money, but man, I'm getting the Disney experience. But that doesn't seem to be the case right now. There's a lot of things that they're doing that is driving people away, at least the ones that are familiar with what it was and have seen the glory days of Disney. Now, those who haven't, they're gonna go to Disney regardless, right? Because they want to experience it. It's like a national monument to some degree, right? Like it's like you got to go to the Statue of Liberty if you ever go to New York, right? Like it's just a part of the thing. You got to see Cinderella's castle. You got to be, it's a staple.
yep,
But like that, you can't rely upon that to keep your business going, right? You can't rely upon the word of mouth of, oh, like I've been there, done that. You want to keep people wanting to come back and keep it magical, and people
yeah,
keep people just in love with everything. And the Galactic Star Cruiser information that we've been going over that is now coming out more and more and more. like now they're picking up their marketing. Like now they're really going crazy. In fact, I took a screenshot of it right before we started recording. I opened up my social media, and this is the advertisement that's coming up right there. Galactic Star Cruiser. They're clearly trying to, you say the Galactic Star Cruiser enough, you're gonna start getting ads for them, right? It's how these things work. They're clearly trying to, paint the picture of like, oh, come and buy tickets, come and be a part of this. But like you said, if the experience is only the only way to buy these things are over the phone, and then you got these long wait times, like I just it's like a snowball effect, right? Like it's building up and building up, building up, and not
Yeah,
building up in a good way. This is a negative trajectory. And it's just going to keep falling faster
yeah,
if someone doesn't quickly catch them. So I don't know, but
yeah.
what are these guys going to do?
That's part of it. Like this is it's like a snowball of negativity that's
Yeah.
like rolling down. Um, I'm planning to. I was planning to stay at a Disney resort next year for a few days, and have a day at Epcot. Problem is that I'm gonna be spending over $600 a night. Um, bro, like $600 a night, dude. That's pretty. It's pretty crazy. That's not counting food and the park entrance. That's 2 grand, easy, easy. So, um, it's just that problem is that I think that, and I don't want to blame the pass holders, right? I think the pass holders have a right as a paying customer, right? Um, I learned a term this week. I don't know if you've heard it, pass holes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, they're right. Because when I was at the call center, I hated getting pass holder calls, dude.
Wow.
Yep, that was my least favorite calls from pass holders. It's like pass holder does not equal shareholder, right? It's like you're
Oh,
calling
that's a
in
good
like you
comparison.
freaking own
Yeah.
the place because
Yeah.
you paid back then $400 a year to get in the park every day, right? Now you're paying 1,000, 1,200. I mean, no, you can't now, but dude, and I just it's crazy to me, right? I think that the entire um, I think Universal's doing their thing, and whatever they're doing, it's working. So I'm not even gonna talk about Universal, right? Because they, one, follow the trend, right? And two, they work around it. Like for the amount of money that I would be spending for 3 nights and one night at Epcot at Disney, I could spend the entire week at Portofino with 4 days at the parks at Universal, dude.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah, it's insane. Um, that's how bad the situation is. Um, I don't know. I mean, they clearly already priced out like the average consumer from the resorts. Like even the value resorts are almost $200 a night, if if not more. Um, and I think that it all goes back to the reason why Disneyland was created in the first place.
Yeah.
It's a safe place where families can, go and get together and have fun together as a family. But, the problem is, yeah, it gets crowded. Yeah, it gets that, right? It is what it is, right? It's always been crowded. Like, it's long lines. You're not getting long lines because of Genie Plus, because back in the 90s, I waited 55 minutes for Splash Mountain, and there was no fast pass and no nothing, right? That was straight up a line, and it's always been like that. Um, but you still had fun, right? And you were there, and everything worked, and it was everything. It was quality. Everything was quality. Uh, Service was quality. Everything worked. Rides didn't go down. Everything was clean. Um, And we didn't stay at the Disney resorts because they only had back then. They only had like the main three, and I think they were getting ready to open the ones over by the boardwalk. Maybe they had the Port Orleans, but we stayed off property. But even then, right, we were spending less than $80 a night staying at like the Best Western on iDrive, and
Why not?
and it worked.
Yeah.
So I just it's just that the failure of leadership, right? And I think that it's okay, right, to criticize leadership when you're doing it in a constructive way. We're not calling anyone, bean counter, or I know that's been a topic that's been around this week. We're not calling anyone a bean counter. We're not calling.
It's not name calling.
Exactly. We're not calling names. We're not saying you guys are cheap or nickel and diming. We're not using any of those terms. I think that to be able to address the problem, you have to confront it in a constructive way, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to come up with, I mean, it's a problem that is not it's out of our control. But as a consumer, as someone that enjoys the product, I want the product to be better. If you're charging me over 200% inflation for your ticket, right? Just to give you an idea, Joe, the first year that I came here, 1993, a 1-day ticket to any park back then, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, was $38.
Wow.
Adjusted for inflation, for today, it would be $73.09. There's no reason why these parks need to be over $100 a day. Like, there's no reason why, man. That's number one, right? They don't make money on the park tickets. Like, that's been proven. Like, why are you charging? Like, people make, you make your money on your food and your merchandise. Gillette, you follow Sega. It's like you follow that same pattern. You give away the racer, people will buy your blades, right? Sega, you give away the console, people are gonna buy your games and your peripherals, right? That was the Sega mentality back when the Genesis came out, and that's why they were so successful for, I would say for the entirety of that generation up until the 32X. But that's a story for a different day. And I think that's part of it, right? Bro, it's like the Grand Floridian is more money than like the St. Regis in like Bali or something. It's ridiculous, dude. It's like,
Nah, that's come on.
it's out of control, bro. I think it's outrageous. And everyone has the right. I think that you at some point, right? Bad faith is going to catch up, and it doesn't matter how much you raise your prices. Ghetto people are still gonna get in there, and they're gonna start acting up,
Right.
and they're gonna start,
Right.
trouble. It is what it is.
No, it's unfortunate. Like
Yeah.
if you're just not a nice person, you can't say I'm gonna price out. Like that's not how it works, right? Like
Yeah,
crazy people come from anywhere. Unfortunately, and
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing, right? If anything, we're seeing people come in with the higher prices that are crazier than we saw when things were at lower prices. I mean, I don't know what the deal is, but people are just acting really, really wild these days. Maybe they think that the higher ticket they pay, they feel more entitled to do whatever they want.
I think
maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
Like as if they own the place, like you were just talking about. That
Yeah,
kinda
like the
adds-
the
I
the
don't know.
whole the whole pass holder thing. Yeah, yeah. And granted, like I was a pass holder. I had a after I left,
Yeah.
because that was right after I left the company, I bought a pass. It's like, all right, well, I don't have my main gate anymore, my ID anymore. I'm just gonna buy myself a pass. I got me a pass, got in, right, and after that, it's like not laugh got in the way, right? Because I really wanted to renew it, but for a few years there, rough patch, and you got to rebuild, and to rebuild, you gotta start making cuts, right? But
Yep.
you know, here's the kicker, right? It's like the rebuild is done, but now I can't go because they priced me out. It's like, what the hell, bro? It's like I work hard, right?
Right. Your life's like on a great trajectory. You're doing great, man.
And
And then they're
now I
like,
can't
sorry.
go. It's like, bro,
What is it?
what are you doing, right? And I gotta earn it, right? It's like I gotta work hard, I gotta save
Yeah,
up,
you're a
and I gotta
responsible
go.
man.
Yeah, I don't have $3,600 lying around, so I can just pay for the
Yeah.
family to go for the
It,
pass
it's
holder.
okay, Obed. I know you drive the Ferrari into the office. I've
Right,
seen you. It's okay. You're trying to be
right,
humble. I
right. Made the
understand.
big bucks. Hey, just because I got people's numbers saved on my phone doesn't mean that I made the
It's
big.
okay. It's all right, Omar.
Omar Jose. Yeah, right.
Sorry,
Man,
I had to bring it back.
right. It's like our after FIFA got us. But yeah, man, it's
Yeah.
concerning, and I really wanna. I wanted to bring it up because Galactic Star Cruiser, they put out they put out another video. It was super cringe too. Like, I don't know what the mentality is behind all this. Like, this stuff should have been part of Galaxy's Edge. It's like, what are you doing? Like, honestly, if you want to do a Star Wars themed hotel, do it, right? But if you're going to try and sell an experience for this amount of money, that is not even an experience that's enticing to even a hardcore Star Wars fan like myself. The dude that's
Yeah.
wearing a Last Jedi hat right now as we speak.
Today is the 4th year anniversary. You know
Yeah,
that.
that's why I
Four
wore it.
years, man.
That's why I wore
Yeah,
it.
see, you know what you're doing.
I know what I'm doing. So, like, I haven't worn this in a long time, and I was like, you know what? Today's the day. I gotta
I
take
love
it.
it. I love it.
And
That's what's up, man.
bro, it's like, why? I don't understand. And then, where's the leadership? Like, where are they coming out? Hey, fans, we're listening to you. Hey, this is happening, right? Um, Based on what I heard about Spider-Man, right? It's like completely. It's crazy, dude. Like, I am baffled how this is the same company, right? When you made the movie that the fans wanted, like you have some people that are listening to the fans and are giving them what they want, and what are you gonna have? The biggest movie since the biggest movie ever, because you listen to your fans, right? Granted, your biggest movie ever was the same people that made this movie.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta there's a pattern here, right? Some people in your company know what they're doing. Clearly, some others don't. Um, and I'm not calling. Yeah, vote with your wallet. Yeah, I'm not calling for boycott. I don't even call for boycotts for freaking Hobby Lobby, one of the most like despicable companies in the U.S. It's like, I'll go to Hobby Lobby and buy me like a Spider-Man thingy for my room. I don't care. Like, I don't care, right? Chick-fil-A, oh hey chicken, I don't know, it's delicious and I'll eat it and that's good. Like, I don't care, man. I'm not gonna, uh,
If you just genuinely don't like something, like you're not obligated to put your money into it, is what I would argue, right? Like if I talked, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know what I did?
yeah,
I saw that movie one
exactly.
time, and that was it in the theaters, and that was it. And you know me, it's Star Wars and Spider-Man. It's like the same thing.
Yeah,
If it's good, you see it 3 times. If it's bad, you see it twice. Like that's kind of like
but you only
the
saw it
rule that I
once.
have. Yeah. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
No, like I hear you. Don't
it's
don't we're not trying to cancel like an entire like
no,
thing. That's
absolutely
not how
not,
we
absolutely
are.
not.
We're
Like, people
trying
have
to
their
actually
livelihoods,
improve it and
right?
change it.
There's like there's WW had, I mean, at least a few years ago they had 50 some thousand employees, and those people depend on it, right?
Exactly,
So we're not
exactly. No,
saying don't go, right? Go if you want to go. I'm not saying don't go, but
absolutely.
I'm saying that if you go, right, and again, mileage may vary, right? So your experience may vary versus the experience that I have or the experience that someone else may get. Problem is that, if you have your Centurion card and you go in and you can buy anything you want and do anything you want, you will not have a problem at all. But when you have a budget and you try to enjoy, what could be a once in a lifetime vacation, it's a problem. And I think that everyone deserves once. I think that everyone deserves as money, hungry and all this stuff that Disney could be at times. I think that everyone deserves to experience their parks. I honestly, wholeheartedly think that everyone deserves to experience it. Even if it's once in a lifetime. So, man, it's just that it's something that I really like, and I see that it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't know. It's concerning to me, like that someone that really, likes the property and it has some sort of emotional investment on it. I really want to see it flourish, and
Yeah.
it's just that it's concerning. It's something like I think this all came about because my daughter's now hooked on watching Disney videos ever since we went last time, and all her talking about Disney and all this stuff sort of woke up something that was in me. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's I think that's what it is. It's a fatherly thing that got woken up.
And that's what I was saying. Your experiences are more personal. Like I was saying, from early years going, as a young man, working, the professional side, and now being a father, trying to bring the next generation in. That's why I was saying, it's a more personal place you come from.
Yeah.
For the most people, because you want, that's how it should be passed down and continued.
Exactly, and it's hard for me to pass it down when you don't want me to go.
Right. You're trying to keep me out, it feels like.
Yeah. So yeah.
I will say, sorry, you go ahead.
No. That's yeah. Go ahead.
No, I will say though, look, not everything that they've done in the over the Chapek days has been the worst. I went and actually got to finally see Harmonious at Epcot. Out of the two night shows that have been changed, I know I think it's Enchanted is the one that's at Magic Kingdom. Then Harmonious is the one that's new at Epcot. I've not seen Enchanted yet. I'm trying to see if I can see that one soon. Because of the whole reservation system, they have now it seems like at least just recently, there's been clearly a cutback in some of the numbers. There was, last time I was out there was less people and it was on a weekend, and I expect weekends it's always crowded out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I get around pretty easy. So, and I went to a park that was clearly capped out for the day. There was no more reservations open for the day. So for a packed day, not actually that bad. Anyways, got to see Harmonious, and it was a nice show, man. I didn't hate
it. Yeah.
I liked it. Do I love it? Oh my gosh, everyone else. No, it wasn't that.
Illuminations was so good, man.
That's Illuminations was really good. I think the thing that Illumination has over this is that it had more fireworks. Illuminations just is it truly is a fireworks show.
Yeah.
Right? You have other effects and things happening, and the globe comes out and all that cool stuff. But with this one, if you don't get a good view of the waterfall setup thing that they have going on there, you're basically just listening to Disney music for a bit until you finally see stuff of fireworks go off on cue.
See, that's another problem.
So the experience will completely be different if you don't get a good view of it.
That's another problem that I have I've seen for the last, I want to say, since the at the end of the day, I think that Frozen Ever After is a better ride than the Maelstrom, right? But ever since that change, why does everything needs to be attached to an IP? Why can't we have a neutral show, a neutral original show about the park itself? like
Yeah.
Illuminations was? Why do I have
Right.
to listen to Disney music? Like, give. I think the soundtrack to Illuminations was excellent, excellent. But
Yes. No, same.
you know,
I loved
why
Illuminations.
change something that's so good, right? And the same thing with Wishes. Everything, most of everything
Yeah.
on Wishes was when Wishes was at Magic Kingdom. I didn't see the one after Wishes, but again, it impressed me
Oh,
out.
Happily
So
Ever After, right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
never got to watch that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I
Um,
like Happily Ever After.
but I think that that's the thing, right? We've seen like, oh, we'll take this out and we'll take this other thing. Oh, we'll take the tiki room, like the rumor that's going on right now. We'll take the tiki room and we'll retheme it Moana. I was like, why do you have to like one of these days the Carousel of Progress is gonna be a Toy Story thing, or I don't know, like a Lilo and Stitch thing. Like I don't know. You heard about the Country Bear Jamboree that's supposed to be changing to like a
Toy,
Toy Story
Toy Story.
like puppet
Yeah.
show? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, bro, honestly,
Same,
like,
man.
why do you have to keep doing this? Like, why does everything needs to be attached to an IP? I get it that people don't really go to that attraction that much anymore, but at the
But
same
then to
time,
make something new that's original.
yeah, exactly. That's my point, right? Make
Right.
something new that's original. You don't have to use your IPs
Right.
for everything.
Right.
And that's a problem. That's another big problem that I have. Is like, yeah, it's a quick buck. It's like, all right, what takes the least amount of effort? Do this thing, okay? Like,
But that doesn't work long term. Like, because what's cool, like, okay,
yeah,
Moana's cool right now, right? It's been around for a few years, but then, oh, but even just 5 years from now,
yeah,
or 2030 comes around, they're gonna have to update it
yeah,
because people there's gonna be people who are gonna be like, I like that, but then like new kids grow up and they're like, I don't even like, you know,
yeah.
like for us, Lion King's cool, but they can't. If they did a whole ride up based on Lion King right now, I can tell you right now, it wouldn't work the same way
No,
because Lion King doesn't work the way it did for our generation.
exactly. Yeah,
The hard truth, but it's true.
yeah, yeah.
The original concept makes it timeless.
Yep. And that's why a lot of the rides that were at Epcot originally were timeless. Like, even though
But
they're,
I
you know, even though they were dated, right? And again, arguably, like, Test Track is a better ride than World of Motion. Like, I rode World of Motion. A Test Track is way better. but Horizons was way better than Mission Space. Granted, Mission Space is an original concept idea, right?
that's true.
But the ride, it's
Have you seen that new restaurant? How expensive, dude?
the space thing. It's nuts. It's like $200.
I don't know
right?
what they're
Like, per
doing
person.
again, man.
Again, same thing, right?
Like,
Like
that's
that's
another
something
thing.
that I would like to experience, but
Same.
bro, I'm gonna go there and my kid's not gonna like the food and I'm gonna end up not having a great time and still paying
Yeah.
$200 some dollars.
No, no, it's ridiculous.
It's unfortunate, right? And
But Harmonious is good.
Yeah.
It's just like the problem has to do with now, like if you don't get a good viewpoint, like I got a good viewpoint, so I enjoyed it. But I know if I didn't get a good viewpoint, I would have not had the same experience. And
Yep.
the fireworks, like that's an issue for me, was that there's not enough fireworks. Like their fireworks are there, just not as frequent. But
yeah,
I felt for me more like it felt like something a show that they would have done actually at Magic Kingdom. It felt kind of like Happily Ever After,
that's the
but
thing,
got moved
man.
over
And
to Epcot.
it's like why not create something original and
And now Enchanted, man, that will be the next one. I'll tell you how that is when I see it.
yeah, so
50th anniversary, man. 50th anniversary.
yeah,
We did
Well,
not expect it to be this way.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see where things go. And I'm not calling for. It's like I'm not saying I want Bob's head on a platter. I'm not saying that.
what?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
No.
that you know you're the people that built you are not happy with you.
Yeah.
And I think that longtime fans deserve a little bit more respect, right? And I listen to your fans. Let's at the end of the day, you gotta listen to your fans. What happened to DC? They did a full 180. Look how things are now, right? Things are really looking up for DC. Again, look at like Marvel has kept it, but look at Star Wars, right? I'm talking production.
Right.
The fans spoke clearly, and they spoke with their wallets, and things are looking better. Again, Galactus Star Cruiser. I don't know. Flash Gordon. The what did I send you the other day? Oh, it was Buck Rogers. It was like Buck Rogers, and it looked like the Galactus Star Cruiser. So it's just that it's very inconsistent in different. Some people know what they're doing, some others clearly don't, and it's concerning. And I want to see it thrive. I want to see, it's funny because when you think about it, like, first time that if I look back 20 years, I think the park was better 20 years ago than what it is today, which is nuts.
That's what I started off saying. I said that they're making us pay more for a less experience.
It was like,
it was a better experience back then.
Dude, how could it be that the Magic Kingdom was a better park 20 years ago than what it is today?
Yeah.
Epcot.
No.
It's nuts, bro. I don't know.
Oh, strange.
I mean, Epcot's getting better. Like, I know that Epcot, when it's done,
no, Epcot's getting better.
It's gonna look up, right? It's gonna be good.
Animal Kingdom's they're taking the Hollywood Studios route with Epcot. Put it that way. Yeah. Like what they did to Studios, it's like a completely new experience.
I think Studios is a better. I think Studios is a better park overall.
Oh, Studios is still my favorite. I tell you that. It's fantastic. Yeah. But what the Studios before, like when they was in construction mode, was kind of the same thing with Epcot. Epcot was under construction, but once it's done, you'll be happy.
But when you look at your flagship park, right?
Yeah, Magic Kingdom.
That's the thing, and I could
Tron,
say
that's all they got coming.
Yeah, I was there. That park was way better 20 years ago. That's all I gotta say. And you got to work on that resort pricing because that's clearly not. It's not working. I mean, it's working because they're all booked, or so they, you make us think they are. So we'll see. That's what we got. Not a rant, but some constructive criticism to end the show.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can. Joe, you're gonna catch Spidey tomorrow. I'm expecting you to post something on the socials. It'll planning
be like 11 o'clock at night by the time I'm probably out of it, but I'm still posting. Yeah. I don't care. I will post a non-spoiler, thumbs up, thumbs down,
impressions,
thumbs to the side. No, I'm expecting. My expectations are through the roof. I tried to keep it under control, but I can't.
Do the gladiator thing, the thumbs down.
Yeah,
right? You can't see the thumbs. There
you die. Harvey Dent over here.
Yeah, Harvey Dent.
Yeah, I mean, reviews are saying that this is the one. So, you know how I feel about Spider-Man. Yeah. We will find out tomorrow, guys. Happy Spider-Man Eve. Hope you all enjoyed this. Please stay connected with us. Please make sure you're following us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll also follow us on our Twitch account where we're broadcasting our episodes. That's No Load Time altogether on Twitch. Make sure to follow us there. Also subscribe, please. That's really important that you subscribe. Help us by supporting us and subscribing to us via your podcast platform of choice. That could be iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon Music. All those good stuff. Also, if you want to subscribe to our video version on our YouTube channel, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you all so much. If you have any questions or comments, I also want to send an email to us, noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Next week will be a great week. We'll probably talk more Hawkeye and, of course, Spider-Man. Obed, I think you said you're going to be trying to see it this weekend as well. So
going to try Saturday.
Looking forward to it. Yep. Very fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Be excellent to each other. We'll see you guys next time.